How we doing, guys? Welcome to the preview and the predicted lineup. Spurs against Arsenal, the North London derby. Look at the smile on my face. There's something about this game that I just absolutely love. There's no other game in the Premier League for me that gets even close to Arsenal Spurs, the North London derby. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the history, the tradition of it, the rivalry. I've been brought up on it. I hate Spurs as much as Spurs hate Arsenal. I get it. And it is the one fixture that I look for the most, you know. And yeah, we've got other teams in the Premier League we can look at because those games might mean, you know, winning a title or something like that. When you used to look at the fixtures back in the day with Manchester United, when it was always us and them. But Spurs is just that game you look for because of the rivalry and everything. And they've still not gotten over the fact that, you know, we moved from South London to North London. And it's like, how long ago now? Like, seriously. And if you want to get technical, Spurs weren't actually a North London club until the mid-1960s. Because the area where they are was a part of Middlesex. It wasn't even a part of North London until it got brought into it. So technically, Arsenal were a North London club first, if you want to get technical. You know, Google up the history and you'll see. But listen, at the end of the day, this is going to be a massive game. Spurs, they're chasing down the Champions League place. They've got 2 games in hand on Aston Villa, of course. And then us, we're challenging for the Premier League title. And we've got to win our remaining 4 games and then hope somewhere that somebody does us a favour with Man City. If we don't win all 4 games, that's it. It's done. You know, and I feel that of our remaining matches, this is the toughest one. Form goes out of the window. It's just a massive, massive game. Spurs haven't played for 2 weeks. You know, since they got absolutely battered by Newcastle. I look at that one or 2 ways because some people can say that they will be ready and refreshed and everything else. But then on the flip side, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get back up to, let's say, a Premier League level and the intensity and everything when you've had no games. And the one game that you don't want to have, which will be intense and will be 100 miles an hour, would be the North London derby. Don't get me wrong. The first 15, 20 minutes of this game is going to be chaos. Okay? The fans are going to be absolutely baying for blood. The Spurs players are going to be coming at us 100 miles an hour. And at the end of the day, we've got to just stand up to it and we've got to play our own game because as a team, as individuals, we are better than Spurs. And what we cannot do is get caught up in the occasion. You know, just play the game, not the occasion. Some interesting stats and facts and whatnot about the game and everything else. But Spurs have just won one of their past 6 Premier League meetings against Arsenal. So it's slowly starting to turn back round to what I remember anyway. There was that little period recently where, you know, Spurs got happy because they finished above us a few times, but normal service is starting to resume. We could actually win a consecutive league game at Spurs because we won there last season, remember, since 1988. And that just shows, you know, when you look at that and you think about some of the teams and the dominance that we've had, you know, winning back-to-back at their place, you know, 2 seasons in a row, it's not easy because it's just form out of the window and everything else, like I was saying. We're looking at some of Spurs statistics and whatnot. They've conceded 49 league goals this season. So conceding 1 against Arsenal will obviously be 50. Spurs have scored in 25 successive Premier League home matches. Now, that's an interesting statistic. And I've noticed lately we've been coming up against sides that have had very impressive statistics of continued, goals scored in matches. Remember when we went to the Etihad and we didn't concede and there was a stat there? And listen, statistics and, records are there to be broken at the end of the day. So it is what it is. But Spurs have gone 12 Premier League home games without a clean sheet. Now, that's very, very interesting. So, only Burnley and Sheffield United have fewer. So you can score goals at Spurs. And I don't know whether it's because of the way they play with their high line and everything else. In terms of Arsenal, now this is a very interesting stat, and I see this one against Chelsea. I've seen it a few times now. We have won all 15 league matches in which we have been ahead at half time. And this is why I always say it's so important to score the first goal. And we can go right back to the Aston Villa game a few weeks ago and complete and utter domination in the first half. And if we go in at half time ahead, I believe we win that game. But we didn't. And this is the thing. It's about scoring that first goal and, showing our domination. And the proof is there at the end of the day. Everyone can see it. But it's going to be such an interesting game. Team lineup's going to be important. Like I said, with Spurs, Udogie, he's missing, which is going to be a big miss for them. Because we know how they like to play their fullbacks inverted as kind of number 10s. They play such a high line. There's so much space to exploit. And if you get it right, you can cause a lot of problems. When you think of the Newcastle game, their last one out, when I think of some of the things that Newcastle did, and it was instant first time, ball over the top, bang. I think of the Isak goal. I think it was the third one. It was literally just one ball, instantly, straight over the top. He's gone. Because their line is so high. So we've got to try and exploit that. And, Martin Odegaard's going to be crucial. The way he played against Chelsea was just insane. And like I said, at the end of the day, we play before Man City do. We're also going to see what's happened with Liverpool. They've got a tough game away from home at West Ham. If they don't win that game, then they're definitely, without any question, out of the running. But, with them going first, they could pick up 3 points and just kind of, make us all start thinking and wondering and whatnot. Listen, they know themselves it's going to be a very, 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 very monumental collapse from Arsenal and Man City for them to win the Premier League. But, well, there's hope. So, we've just got to go about our business, get the 3 points, and then we can talk about bragging rights and everything. And another little part as well, which is interesting, is that we win this game, we will have then mathematically qualified for the Champions League next season. I believe we only need a point, but obviously in the grand scheme of things with the Premier League title, a point's not enough. But in terms of Champions League qualification, finishing above Spurs, Villa, etc., we only need a point. So that's an interesting one. But let's go and get the win and let's take care of business. So with that said, let's go into the predicted lineup. Starting off in goal, David Raya, straightforward. Right back, Ben White, again, straightforward. Right centre back, William Saliba, straightforward. Left centre back, Gabriel. Again, straightforward. The 4 positions from your goalkeeper, right back, 2 centre-backs, they are nailed on. It's no discussions, no debates, anything. Left back, this is where we've had a problem all season. Now, what does Mikel Arteta do for this game? Does he continue with Tomiyasu? Spurs have got a dangerous forward line. Will they play the likes of Kulusevski? Will it be Brennan Johnson? Timo Werner predominantly plays out on the other side. Heung-min Son, Richarlison. I just feel that he will continue with Tomiyasu. Now, I felt that there were a couple of moments against Chelsea where Tomiyasu, probably say is probably, you know, a bit rusty. You know, you think in the second half, there was one moment where he should have cleared with his head and he tried to bring it down with his chest and he slipped and it actually put Chelsea in. These are the kind of games where you can't make one mistake, because I feel that, you know, Spurs have got better forwards than Chelsea. So they could capitalise on any mistake. So I just feel that possibly Tomiyasu, but then there's a part of me that thinks he may well go with Zinchenko because of the high line that Spurs play. Zinchenko is perfect to drop in and clip those balls over the top. Now, no matter what you say about Zinchenko, against Aston Villa, if you look, he was the one that was breaking those lines and dropping the ball over the top. It's a catch-22 really, isn't it? I feel that he will go with Tomiyasu, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went with Zinchenko for the reasons that I outlined. Just in front, I'm going to play Thomas Partey. I thought he was really good. There were a couple of moments where he nearly got caught on the ball, but it's understandable. He's still a little ring rusty, but I just feel that what he brings to the team and what everybody in front of him is allowed to go and do is huge. And Thomas Partey is one of those players that can get the ball and ping a pass. It could be over the top. It could be splitting through the middle. Thomas Partey's that guy. He can do that. So that's what I would go with. On the right-hand side, Bukayo Saka. Very, very straightforward decision for me. I feel that he's got to exploit that area of Spurs without Udogie there, where they're going to be weak. It looks like it'll probably be Ben Davies. And if they want him to try and play the job, you know, that Udogie's been doing, listen, Saka could have a field day out on that right-hand side. So simple. Next to him, Martin Odegaard. Need a big performance, just like we saw against Chelsea. That was exceptional. His passing, just everything he did was immaculate. He's world class. It's that simple. Next to him, Declan Rice. Again, big game, big player. And these are the kind of games where you bring players like Declan Rice in and why you spend £100 million. So very straightforward. On the left-hand side, this is again, it's our left-hand side that seems to be the problem. At the moment, where our right-hand side is so dominant and, you know, so focal to what we do, our left-hand side seems to be a bit of a problem. Now, I've seen some people saying about Martinelli because of the pace and the high line and everything, but I wouldn't be confident with Martinelli, you know, when he gets in, taking his chances, because he's been, you know, so poor of late. Even against Chelsea, he went through at the end, and I didn't feel confident that he was going to finish. The finish in itself was dreadful. And I just feel based on form and everything else, and he is one of those clutch players, I'll go with Trossard. I think he's earned the right to start this game. And Trossard's more than capable of breaking those, you know, high lines that Spurs play and everything else. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Up front, as the main striker, false nine, Kai Havertz. Very, very simple. Again, against Chelsea, superb. The way he plays, the way he brings everybody else involved and everything, it's just so good. So listen, there we go. That is it for the preview and the predicted lineup. It's a big, big game. And that, for me, is a very, very strong lineup. And, yeah, what will be, will be. Let's go and get the 3 points. Let's keep up the pressure on Man City. Let's get the momentum going. And, yeah, let's not give them any bragging rights. That's what I would say. So, yeah, listen, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. And I will see you lot very, very soon. I'm out of here.